Hello and welcome everyone to the 381st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department, part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today, along with Dean at the Keshe Foundation TV studio. And we are here to present the teachings of Mr. Keshe and his presentation in this workshop. So I believe we're ready to begin today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you there?
Yes. Good morning, good day to you. As usual, whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers of Keshe Foundation Worldwide. We welcome you back to another session of learning from each other and elevating the soul of the man and the knowledge of the man. We are learning new ways to elevate, and at the same time, we are learning new ways to see how we can connect physically and in other ways through our emotion and different dimensions in the realm of the creator and the creation. Today we have some announcements to make, and gradually we build it up to what is the normal teaching for us. We have an announcement to make, and this announcement is another step for the Keshe Foundation worldwide to reach the goals of not only creating the conditions for knowledge seekers who know about the knowledge, but in the long term, helping and setting up a new standards and levels for humanity in different nations and conditions. That we start interacting and bringing the technology to common man on the street and changing from what we call grassroots. Today, we are proud to announce the signing of one of the largest Keshe Foundation manufacturing systems up to now. Rick, could you please play the videos if you have it there, please? Yesterday, Keshe Foundation, after long-term negotiation over 2 years, 3 years, in China, we have signed and taken over the largest manufacturing base for Keshe Foundation in China. The new factory, which is about 70,000 square meter, is handed over to Keshe Foundation as of yesterday. And this factory becomes the flagship of the Keshe Foundation worldwide from China. It is one of the most prestigious factories in what we call our catalogs of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. We thank the Chinese team, especially Wang Lin, Chao, and the rest of the team, Xiaojin and Chanlin, that they supported to bring this into reality. This factory is set in the heart of the Chinese, what we call ceramic and tea production, and it will start be equipped from next month. We have already started transferring the funds for the factory to be set up. It's a large commitment on 9 floors, more or less, levels, and each floor, each section, 8 of them is 2,000 square meter, and each one, 2,000 square meter, will be engaged in specific jobs for the foundation: gas production, research center, space technology development, bringing China in line with Iran as part of CBRU. 1 floor of this structure is specifically designed to bring the space travel, what we call technology, reachable by the nation of China in conjunction with the Iranian space program. This factory will become one of the flagships of the Keshe Foundation. And with it, we employ large number of people. This is in a position that we can expand to the new buildings across in the same industrial zone. And this allows us to bring Keshe Foundation where we want it. This is more or less the first base in producing the fuel the life cycle and the space travel feasible, and part of the what we call joint collaboration between the Iranian operation of the Keshe Foundation and the Chinese into bringing CBRO into life. This becomes the center of the space development as part of the Chinese CBRO organization of the Keshe Foundation. In so many ways, this is the next step for us. And as we said, Keshe Foundation, with the permission of the Chinese authorities, has set up one of the largest, what we call, research and development companies in China, which allows us to carry on with our work. We thank the Chinese authorities, we thank the Chinese leadership for allowing this step to be taken. You will see this flagship building will become where we concentrate the first flight system in the next 12 months in conjunction and collaboration between the two nations of Iran and China. And then the headquarters of the same operation you will see very soon in Tehran. We have started the process, and the offices of the Keshe Foundation and Research will be much more prestigious than this, as it's been allowed and will announce in the coming time through Tehran. We have set out to bring the change, and the time we have taken to do this has brought us to a new dimension. This needs vast amount of investment, vast amount of investment, not in financial part, but in the process of all of us being able to be part of the new generation of changes. Keshe Foundation, China, in next few days, will make an announcement inviting the Chinese community to join us to develop this center in China. If you're a knowledge seeker anywhere in China, in the next few days there will be an announcement made by the group to join and become part of the establishment of the Keshe Foundation, that we can support the development and the spread of the technology in China. We estimate on a 3-shift basis in this center, we'll need something over 1,000 plus Chinese knowledge seekers. The process of the employment will start in June, but everything is coordinated through the Keshe Foundation and the factory, with the full collaboration and cooperation of the Chinese Keshe Foundation, and the setup that they have arranged and will arrange for recruiting this number. Where we are is where the Silk Road started. Chinese officials took us to this city some 3 years ago plus, that they wanted the main center, the first center, to be here. This is where the first China found on was brought into the rest of the world on the back of donkeys. This is the city and the area where the first China plates were put on the back of the donkeys and were taken across the Silk Road, the start of the Silk Road, where China came to know to all of us. So the reason for the Chinese officials taking us to his area was part of the structure of the thinking of His Eminence President Xi of China, that the beginning of the Silk Road, as we know, it has taken a beautiful direction, and in that process, again, we brought the mother technology to where the first trading line of the Silk Road started. In so many ways, it's hard work. It's the beginning of the establishment of factories which can support the space technology in a way to put all of us in space. I see in this factory where the first, what we call, launching systems on the upper floors of this factory in next few months will be developed, where Keshe Foundation, in conjunction with the scientists from Chinese space organizations, will gather in this area to make it the new space center. The beauty with this, and why we have chosen this position in conjunction with the promotion for the Chinese officials. This is a more or less a space center where Chinese develop their military space hardware. So we are in the right place, not only for ceramic, but in the development of the aircrafts and everything else. Part of this city, if you always see test flights passing over when the Chinese test their latest aircraft systems or helicopters for the Chinese defense. We're going to replace this in a way with the new space flight systems. And this is the objectives of the Keshe Foundation. And in the coming weeks, as I return to Iran, this headquarters of the Keshe Foundation in China, in producing the systems, will become the backbone of the collaboration between the two nations to take mankind into space within the next 12 months. Now we have set up and we are endeavoring to go to the next step. The funding to set this up is on commitment to bringing Keshe Foundation supporting itself to build it up in conjunction with governments. Now we become a joint collaboration between nations in what we call space technology. The center is not anymore that we have a gas we want to do. We have started with the Chinese that they come to us to say, for example, there is such and such a problem. They pay the Keshe Foundation for research and development of a solution for the problem. This becomes the pattern which we wanted to do. It's past the time that we used to test gases and we say it does this and that. We've done enough now that the governmental organizations, the private organizations will come to the Keshe Foundation that we have this problem, we are prepared to pay for the solution, find a solution. And we already have started this path with the Chinese. Be it in agriculture, be it in food, be it in new production. The beauty with this center is that it's in the heart of the ceramic, China ware. This is not where you see the mass production of millions of plates. This is the center for the artisans. There are over 100,000 potters in this area. Each one has its own technique, has its own beauty, and we have established this place that we can supply these, and very soon, in the next most probably 3 months, all these cups and things which we make handmade in Austria, where you take for diabetic or blood pressure or corona, or whatever else these cups start coming out with, will be manufactured in this area, in these factories of the Keshe Foundation. We'll go into mass production that will change the course. The latest, what we call Keshe Foundation farming systems, will be built in this factory and distributed around the world. The enhancement units of the Keshe Foundation, the large body enhancements, will be assembled and completed in this factory and will be sent across the world. We are in a good position, as you saw maybe in one of the videos, that we are in a new industrial development area. So we can extend these buildings across this road you saw. These buildings are all available to be extended. My plan, with the help of the Chinese authorities and the Iranian officials, as we're talking in the background, is to make this area the space center of China. The system, the buildings are getting built brand new in a way as we have Silicon Valley, we have the Space Valley of China, starting from this point. It is part of our work to bring the nations together through science and technology, through understanding the next phase of the development for all of us. It is not all the time teaching about the soul. We have to help man on every daily basis. And this new development which Chinese allows us to do, we have not put hand out to no government up to now that they could dictate the condition and the teaching and the work of the Keshe Foundation. We will stay the same. Knowledge seekers and Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers are there to support in every shape or form. And now we achieved to this point. We are not looking for handouts. We are looking for support to bring scientists together, to bring the next level of the development for all of us. We are trying to bring the Chinese, the Iranians, the American, the British, the Italian, the Brazilian scientists into this research center. 1, maybe 2 floors of this building is specifically categorized for space research development. If you're a knowledge seeker and you developed and you are going to develop new technologies in the space technology, and you're looking for opportunity, the Keshe Foundation Center is now here. Mexico has come into operation. Arizona is on standby to receive its systems. In Tehran, Keshe Foundation structure is getting set up in a much larger scale than in China. So we are becoming as part of the same structure. As I promised to the Iranian officials, within 12 months from my return to Tehran, we put man on Mars. We put man beyond the reach of the present technology. As we heard, the scientists in advanced technology of China this week landed a craft on Mars. 7 months of travel, unmanned. As we understand the new technology, with the new crafts being able to create magnetic field barriers, being able to tune in a gravitational magnetic field of the Mars, understanding the heartbeat of the Mars itself, which is what we call the love affair of universe system. We create the heartbeat of the Mars. We create the magnetic field strength of the Mars. And we see these space travels to become infractions, maybe less than 1 hour to Mars, and much, much faster in the future. There is a lot of development to come in. We see how much we can cross this barrier. We see new research papers coming from different institutes and organizations around the world who have started to understand the work and what we call interaction of the fields of the plasma. We've seen new papers in plasma technology being published by leading universities around the world in how the fields interact. These are the new technologies which the Keshe Foundation will collaborate with to bring our knowledge, where we can develop simple systems for these researchers to develop very fast. In a way, we have entered and we have put the first foundations as the headquarters of what we promised you, the CBRU to start. The basis for setting up of the CBRU in Tehran, with the help of the Tehran Keshe Foundation office, has already started. Companies and the structures for this to be operational in Tehran has already started with the Keshe Foundation in Iran, and these become joint collaborations. And we see you knowledge seekers not just to be making ganses, but trying to take the technology a step further, that we start producing food, we start producing energies of food, we start producing interaction of the fields. What we call ganses of ganses to make, now we have to make field of the ganses. This technology I will teach in the space centers, that is essential to be understood. Now we have to go to step further, in a way to opening the plasma, to understand when we open the ganses, how ganses become a spectrum of the fields that we decide which one we take. When in the present science we work with our systems, we have a very different understanding of the totality. In the science and the space of the plasma technology of today, we speak about ganses. We speak about the magnetic field of ganses, but we have never understood the totality and the way they work. When we have a gas, we look at a little white ball sitting in the place. But if we really look at that little white ball as a of a GANs as a single molecular GANs structure, we see the fields which comes out of it. And in so many ways, these fields are not the same. And in the coming time, we will teach you how to take each one of these fields and what each one means, and how you can elevate and evaluate, how to replicate, how each one of these inside, in self, by itself, become a heartbeat of itself. And the combination of each one of these heartbeats gives the heartbeat of the system. In the coming time, you need one GANs to be able to reach the whole of the universe and Unicos. When the knowledge of the man increases, you don't need to have 100 gram or 10 milliliters of GANs. Each GANs in each strength, and each strength links itself to a position and to a dimension. And this is for us to develop, to understand. Each GANs is the key to process to one point in the universe. If you remember, I explained to you last week about how we put the dough through different systems and it became like a spaghetti, how it became weaker and weaker, or stronger or more of. If you remember the process, you got to remember each one of these ends up in one place or the other. And this is what I said to you, that one GANs has the strength to take man across anywhere in the universe and the Unicos. And if we find that elusive light of the Creator, the strength of his line of understanding and generosity, will find a path directly to the Creator. It takes one GANs to take man to the whole dominion of the creation and the Creator. It's the man who has to extend his knowledge. It's the man who has to understand the process. You understand this in a very simpler way if you go back to where we used to put magnets. I think Rick has this video somewhere. He loves this one, I know. And then we see that how one single magnet in the center, in positioning it, makes the rest to move to a new position and dimension. And in a way, some move forward, some move backwards, but all they adjust themselves in one way or another. In a way, if you look at it, the GANs itself is radiating different strengths of the fields, and in that process makes connection. This one connects with the strength of this, while this one in it has the strength with this one, and maybe in so many ways this connects to this one. But this time when they come in, they adjust to the new position. So in a way, if you look at it, there is no difference between a magnet and what we showed before. Look at the two and you understand the same. You have seen this in a physical dimension in the world of the man. Now you have to learn the same thing exists in the dimension of the GANs. Because for that GANs to be in that position in the cup, it has to have the collection of the fields, not only with all the GANs in that cup, but in totality, every other things which is created within the structure. Now the only difference is you have to mentally envisage or mentally understand that here you dealt with the state of the matter. Here you dealt with the state of the gans. Here both for you is understandable because the both can be visualized. But what happened now? If I show you a whiteboard. On this whiteboard, you see nothing. But this whiteboard, in the background, is an ocean of fields. Man has got to learn and has come to be forced to learn that what can I feel with the emotion of the fields on this whiteboard? Do I need to see it to believe it, or I'm aware of its existence? Even the existence of this whiteboard, as you see it, is a confirmation of existence of fields. It's you who have restricted yourself to visuality. In the coming time, mankind in a space will face this. Where is this? What is on this board? Is there a field on it? And what is strength field? I don't need to see. How many of you have managed to see the field of a magnet in your hand, but you feel the forces of it when you bring it close to a metal, when you bring it close to another field balance interaction entity, could be a magnet or anything else. But you know it's a magnet. I carry it in my hand, and if it comes across a metal or a magnet, suddenly out of nowhere, I just know there is something. Now mankind has to become to trust this. Something you don't see. But we could feel the heat. We can feel the touch. We can smell the odor of the air. And now mankind, through the strength of the soul and understanding of it, has to develop a new sense. A new sense of fields of the creation, which man never sees up to now. But we have to strengthen this within the structure of the soul of the man, which is in the plasma condition in a much looser state, to be able to feel this. I feel the emotion of my son. I feel the need of my father who died years ago, but his soul is present. I feel the strength of the planet Mars, or on the other end, I want to be in planet Zeus. We cannot always develop machineries that we can carry. Man in a space has no hands and no arms when it travels the dimension of the soul. Where do you want to hide your meter or your detector? And secondly, if a machine can detect the fields, your brain and your soul, which is in a much more advanced stage, how come it misses it? Mankind will be taught how to filter field strength in understanding what is a heartbeat, what is the connection to, and what is the collaboration between different fields. What happens when this and this interact together, and in the dimension and things at this point, I'll see my son on Mars. I connect to him, to the position and the condition. In a way, when mankind leads and understands the interaction of these, will create a three-dimensional fields, emotion and understanding and strength. Then you can see your father talking to your son on planet Zeus or on planet Mars, and you understand what the soul has decided. Baba used to be a very naughty boy. The father says to the son, take the soul to such a place, he'll learn from it where he's made his mistakes. And then you say, oh, by accident I came and I found this and I learned something from it. But it's not in the background of your thought that the soul of the father, the son, and the planet Mars brought you to that position. You just carry the physicality to it, or the same as what we saw here, you positioned according to. This is the process of the teaching, which in the coming time, we allow it and we teach it to be developed, that the mankind chooses the walk, the donkey, the jet, the UFO, or travel in the dimension of the fields of the universe, what you call the strength of the soul of the creator and the connection to the soul of the man. In a way, I like to go for a walk, but in my walking, I want to be close to my son and to my father on planet Zeus, where I allow the extension of the soul of me to be in connection in my walks with the whole structure, where my physicality is still walking in the physical body of the man on Everest. But I think I'm closest to the creator, but in fact, I'm rotating like a spinner at high speeds, and my soul continuously has to find out how to tune to everything. In a way, once we connect the lines, we are part of the totality of the structure. In a way, the new space plasma technology is about the life of the man in the universe, not just the gas in the cup. As I said, you take from this technology according to your knowledge, according to your understanding of the what we call the totality of the creation, and what is for you, part of you, to be in you and within you. In so many ways, we have entered and we are entering a new levels of development. The process for us is not just to make gold and be happy. The process for us is not just to be a MAGRAPH system and be happy. These things for us was in a way a sweetener, a catch, a point where we could bring the attention of the man is so physical to be attracted to the knowledge of the creator. In a way, as we say, we set out and put out the bait to see who bites and how much of that bite they want to take and how much of that cake they want to eat. The cake of the knowledge is limitless, and it depends what is sweet to you and what is the purpose of that piece of cake that you take from the knowledge of the creator. Some are happy with the crumbs of the knowledge and they claim the totality, and some are given the cake of the knowledge in totality and they stand back and they share with those, and they make it even into crumbs that more people, according to their understanding, can take different sizes of the crumbs, but everybody has a piece of it. In a way, that piece is with us. We call it the soul of the man, but it's us to decide how much of the cake we want to add, but we share all the time. As I always said, when you stop sharing, you stop learning, you stop receiving. In so many ways, thou shalt not steal. And this means not just the wealth, but you cannot steal by stop teaching the others, because then you have stolen from them to learn, to be able to become, to find a new position in the structure of the what we call their souls in the realm of the creation and the creator. In the coming days, we teach you more. In the coming cycle, we start teaching knowledge seekers to trust, to understand, to feel, to be able to be part of. In a very soft way, we have already introduced this in systems as systems to you, which to you is something for Krona, is something for my eye, is something for my body. But in fact, the teaching has been the process of a slow feed for man now to understand and to trust the fields. You were happy with the ganses. You were happy for thousands of years with the gold. And then you start understanding about the alloys, how to mix different materials together. Then we introduce you the nanotechnology, separating them, and we introduce you the ganses. And now the process has gone very softly in the process of understanding the fields of the ganses. How to trust, and gradually how to feel and see their operation. And in a very subtle way, as it's been, as I said, I've been a teacher for long enough to know how to teach each race and what bait to put out for what race that allows them to become part of the universal community. I have done this many times across the universe, so I know how created things work. Always wanting to receive, but hardly to give any. And in that process, we taught you a lot. I have hidden things in a position that you could see, but you do not know. One of the systems we put to you, and you have gradually, because of Corona, have come to see, is the air enhancement unit. Air enhancement unit is one of the first systems we put out. For you, it's important to feel the Corona. For us, is building trust. You breathe the fields. You walk in the fields. You eat the fields from the what we call the air units. And you gradually elevate to the position of the soul of the man. Finding in this position what I feel. In that position, now I'm breathing the plasma. Now, at the same time, the same plasma is become part of me as it goes through me and is on the cup, on the water, which is absorbed in a matter state, and I drink. The way I introduced air enhancement has been done before, but the knowledge seekers did not see. It was in a large scale, in a body enhancement unit. Now we have brought it in a way that is reachable by every man. In so many ways, now I have brought you a very simple system. The new air enhancement unit is a way to elevate the soul of the man, elevate the soul of the physicality of the man, elevate the connection to the freedom between the two. The problem has been when we had the knowledge seekers, they said you need to drink to cover the gas with your body and to inhale. With the new air enhancement unit, we do the whole three. You don't think about it, and we create that process of the elevation, understanding, the change. But mankind does not and is not aware of it. When we call it a negative oxygen, think of it. Oxygen. I hang on to your gravity of your amino acid, which is the oxygen. With it, I absorb the fields of the environment to add it to the fields of your soul. That creates the elevation of the physicality, the soul of the man, and the soul of physicality of the man. I'm a master of disguise because I know how to play the game. We showed you the environmental system. None of you gathered how I play that game. But now with the what we call air enhancement unit, we deliver a combination of the totality. They've been built in that way. They carry more or less a combination of the fields the man needs to elevate all three: the soul, the physicality, and the soul of physicality of the man. I've given you the knowledge of the universe in a system that for you could be something I wanted for Corona, but you missed the knowledge which I delivered to you. You breathe, goes within you. Its air touches your skin, and the field of it, where you put it, you drink it. I get you in all three ways a shortcut to elevate the man in the small dosages. For you to do this, it takes you 50 years for what this machine delivers you in 50 seconds. You look for different things, and I hide the medicine in the sweetener that you are sweet to take. I put a drop of life in a block of sugar, and like it pours, you take with pleasure. But within it is the medicine to change you. Now we can speak about the technology. Now we can talk about the technology, because now we have brought it to you right in house, right in the way that you elevate your soul. With the same, with the, what we put out as glasses, we've done the same, but in a more concentrated way. The glasses which we have put out is not so much for your eye, it's for the eye of your soul. It is there to bring a faster development into elevation of the soul of the man directly in the process of understanding. When we released the glasses, that was the whole purpose of direct connection, direct elevation, direct work with the soul of the man. As I said, I hide the technology of the universe within simple systems, that we can bring that position. We can bring that change. We can bring in a position to speed up. By setting up these new factories is to be able to do this. I cannot push the man, but I can let the man to choose. With a new delivery of simple technologies, I have hidden the knowledge of the universe in a very simple way. Even the people who work within the research centers do not understand why and how I do these things, and the reason we do this. Because now it's time to create that, not the elite group, but those who are aware of. You will not see your soul flying by putting the glasses on, but the soul receives in a very simple way a dimension of the fields of the universe. You remember the way we used to put gases on top of the plants and water them and absorbs the fields of the amino acid to the plant? Now this I plus that air filter system is the same thing, but it's just the strength that brings the fields of the universe to the soul of the man. Now that grain of rice on top of the plant rice was the receiver. Now the grain of the soul of the man is in the same position. We develop technologies to hide the knowledge of the universe within the structure of the understanding of the mankind. And in so many ways, we push not to force for you to understand, we push to accommodate that your soul elevates and will understand. There are two different ways to do the same thing. You can drag a child to the water, but you can bring the water and the child drinks it with pleasure. I changed the direction of the Keshe Foundation in this way in the past few months. And you will see more of systems which will deliver, which will hide this technology, but directly goes for elevation of the soul of the man, soul of physicality of the man, and allows man to evolve. In so many ways, these are complex but simple ways to bring the collection of the energies at this moment of time man can understand. In the other side, as you've seen in the GANS technology, we brought the condition of environment in the body enhancement units. In the vertical enhancement units, we are doing the same, but the new vertical enhancement units creates the encapsulation of the fields of the body of the man to be able to elevate to the level to be able to travel the span of the universe. If you notice by structure, the vertical enhancement units is book number 2. Is the ray of the light in the cylindrical, in transportation, where I want to transport the soul of the man to a new dimension, or the physicality of the soul of the man with the cancer to a new position. If I take the cancer cell out of your body, it will grow another. But if I elevate in the same system where the cancer cell understands the emotion of the man which led to its creation, I have resolved the problem of the cancer because I elevated the soul. The cancer cell and the soul of the man who created understand that the game was played the wrong way. Now there is a need for balance. I always explain to you, maybe for the first time you understand, always play when you use the gases with, for man, use the amino acid, because you connect to the soul of the man through the application of the, what we call the amino acid. The structure of your life, I already have given you open field play. Many of you will come to understand that the new enhancement units, the vertical and the new horizontal advanced system which is coming up, we'll show it maybe in about 4 or 5 weeks time, once our team gets their hands to be able to fit it completely. In June, July, you will see these will go across this planet in a rapid way. Now with China and Tehran coming into operation, many of the enhancement units will be manufactured into these countries. And will take the next step in a space technology. We bring the position to be able to bring the knowledge in a simple way. In so many ways, you use the mobile phones. You don't understand nothing in it. It's just something you hold on, you dial a number, you reach there. But this time, you have to understand the knowledge, what's in it, how it works, and how you can manipulate it. But this time, the mobile phone is your soul. It dials the number you want. It works in conjunction with soul of the physicality of the man, that it puts man in a position to be. I have changed the mobile phone from you, from these little tiny things in your hand, you shout down whatever and you know it goes somewhere and somebody else will listen to you. Now I gave you the mobile phone of your soul and the soul of your physicality. It's you who has to understand how to communicate, how to be in connection with both, that you are not an outsider. You're the controller. You're the decision maker. You're the one who understands that my soul, the soul of physicality, would like to be on planet Zeus, but I want to be in a position when I'm near to the soul of my father. Or I want to be in a position that I land or appear in a position where I feel the soul of the properties or entities or things which connects to me and have a connection, emotion with me. We will not travel by GPS anymore. We travel by the field strength of the environment, which matches to the desire of the physicality, soul of physicality, and the soul of the man. In a way, you might wish to be on certain planet in certain position, but with your condition of the strength of the soul of physicality, you cannot manifest yourself in the body of the man. You vaporize, you'll be nothing and you'll be diluted. So the soul of the man and the soul of physicality have an understanding of the position, and they know that in the shape of the man, you cannot appear in that position. It doesn't fit. The field strengths are different. In so many ways, even when you look at these butterflies, which we have put, is part of the same process. You look at it as absorbing the fields, but in a coming future, as I told you, nobody can copy these butterflies. The number of hidden technologies in it that these will allow you, you're happy to put it in the back of your iPhone, you're happy to put it on the back of your laptop, you're happy to put it in the house to absorb energies, but these butterflies, in so many ways, are the radar dishes of access to universal dimensions. You cannot understand it. You can do anything you like with it. But in so many ways, I cover the whole dominion with one simple system like this. Cannot be replicated. People can do whatever they like with the air units. We will not release the knowledge and the technology. You can do whatever you like with what we call the vertical enhancement unit. The decision of the use will come through the soul of the man. I explain this in a very simple system, because in a very simple way, I have given you the tools of elevation, but in so many ways, I keep to the pattern of the work. This is the body of the man, and I put the air enhancement unit to be able to do the field elevation. Some of it your body, some of it goes in your mouth, and some of it you drink with the cup of water which is in the room. Because the fields have already deposited within the water. With the glasses, I gave you the dimension of the targeting. And with what I call butterflies, if you know how to do it, I will give you the aerial desk to connect, to understand with the whole totality. But there's one thing. We have not given you the full access to the knowledge, because man is not ready for that knowledge yet. If you look in a very simple way, to infinity loops, access to totality of knowledge and knowledge of the creation in every dimension that might appear in the universe. The only unfortunate thing is, I cannot sell you a cable. As you've been on the internet, nowadays you can buy invisible cables to connect your systems together. If you've been there, you don't need the 2 wires to plug. They sell you invisible cables that you connect your programs inside the computer to each other. We have given you very much the same. this cable is not for sale. You have to understand with a new technology how you can receive the fields of the universe right across in every dimension and direction, and how to become the connector of the whole. The only difference is when you go in the Keshe Foundation vertical system, we have already placed everything for you. Your glasses, your blowing of the what we call the fields, and we have already connected you to the antenna of the universe. You remember long time ago I told you everybody can try to copy the Keshe Foundation systems. They never will. The knowledge in these technologies is so hidden that even our knowledge seekers don't understand what they're hiding in it, but they just follow the procedure. The new vertical enhancement unit, in it, with it, and across it, I transmute you to anywhere, to any strength fields, another position, in another dimension in the universe. Then you manifest yourself in that dimension and position as a man, or as a blob, or as a 8-legged man. Because now I made the connection through the soul of the man. You bought a butterfly or iPhone. I gave you access to the universe. Now you understand why we start setting up these huge factories. Not to make ganses, but to start developing and delivering technologies which gives man access to the knowledge of the universe. It's you who has to decide how to decipher. What do you want to decipher? You sit in a crowded train with a choo-choo noise in the background, with the speaker announcing everything else, with the trolley man taking the tea, with the others making a mobile phone call, with the others making different noises, going through the noise of the tunnel, with the sunshine shining through the window, but you sit across your lover, you hear none, except the voice and the beauty of the lover. Because you have targeted the emotion that every other sense I don't want to know except the voice of the lover. Now we show you how through these technologies that every point of the universe is a lover. In which tune you want to travel, in which way you want to connect with your lover. I love to see the Star of David. I love to see the moon, and I like to be in that unicast, in that position. Now you understand how I have hidden the knowledge of the Creator within a few tools, as the man is so physical. In reality, we should charge you at least to the valuation of understanding 1 or 2 million euros for the glasses. and maybe be very generous and charge you another 5 or 10 million because you're all money men for the air unit. And the butterfly is priceless. This is how the new technology is delivered. Not to the ignorance of the man, but for man not understanding the totality of the creation. If you understand in a very simple way, I have brought you something very simple, but you're not aware of it. Just look. What is the butterfly does? Isn't this cup 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Where all are connected, because without it nothing can exist. The center of gravity. Haven't you noticed how you've been taken for a ride because of your ignorance? By you, not by us. Now, go and destroy your cups and listen to the fools, because the secret of the creation is hidden within it. Every point is a turn into the dimension of the universe. This is what mankind needs to understand. You shall never be able to replicate the butterfly, which is manufactured and delivered by the Keshe Foundation. Now you understand how I have taken you to the full course of the work of the humanity, in physical and the soul dimension. And why we set out to set up these huge manufacturing factories and what we call space development. But remember one point. At the end of it, you're still in that process of the spaghetti machine. Depends how and where you want to connect to. When you made the dough, does not matter where you pick up, what thickness of the spaghetti you pick your spaghetti from, the taste will always be the same, because it's the same dough. It's the same soul of the Creator. And it always tastes and sweet at any point. This is what the knowledge seekers of the future will come to understand more of. The process of the interaction of the fields, not the ganses, the copper and the zinc. Mankind will start looking for new fields of new strength. But in fact, you just need one gans, one simple gans to connect to all. But it's you who has to decide. You get on bus number 1 or you get on bus number 2, you're going to go to the football stadium or you're going to the bazaar. It's the same bus. When he goes to the depot, the man just changes number 1 to 2. It's you who have to understand the bus is the same. It just has a different destination on it. The bus is the soul of the man. It's you who have to decide the destination. In so many ways, understanding of the process of the elevation of the soul of the man is very simple. But the man is so physical that we had to find every trick to get man to understand the work of his own soul, because he walked away from it. And we say in the olden days, he sold his soul to the devil. The devil being the world of physicality, being the world where we as human race chosen to be more physical. The devil is the dimension of the physical life. And the sooner or later, the mankind comes to understand this point, the sooner or later, man decides in which level he wants to fly. Not all of us wants to reach the Creator, because on the way from here to Creator, there are so many beautiful things that I want to see, that when I appear in front of my Creator, I say, I've seen your beauties. I haven't been so selfish that I came just to see you, because I don't understand you if I haven't seen your beauties. I cannot confirm your beauty if I haven't been to see all of it or some of it, to respect your creation. In so many ways, mankind will come to change. In so many ways, we become the travelers of the universe, where now we are travelers of the cities and towns and countries. In so many ways, we will change our dimension and our dominion. In so many ways, I have given you a passport for the universe. If you are happy with the passport on this planet, play the game. I've played this game for long enough. Came, there was no passports. Met the cross and walked across the man when he put line on it, and then he produced papers to see who's who and who can pass what dimension, which borders. And then we don't want you, and we want you, you can come here because you're black or white, you don't carry the right color passport, and the ink is slightly different. There are no passports in the world of the creation of the Creator. The only path comes by the level of understanding and the desire to be close to the Creator. You all have been given the passport to reach the Creator, the understanding of His beauty. It's you who decides in which village of man you want to reside, because you're too ashamed to see your Creator to say, I love you. I want to understand your knowledge, and I want to understand your beauty, because the arrogance of the physicality of the man has locked the man to the dimension of his physical life. This is why we come to the point of separation and death of the physicality, because the soul wants to reach to that point, to reach the Creator, not to the dimension of the created. In so many ways, we have developed technologies for you to decide in which way you want to travel. From the foot to the donkey to UFOs, to the dimension of the soul of the man. And you could solve the situation with the donkey because you put a harness on it and you managed to get on top of it. Then you managed to make a car and put a door and get in it, and then you made the systems to blow yourself up with the rockets. But at the end of it, the whole fuel to reach to the Creator has been within the center of the man and not realizing it because he never understood the process of the creation. He always looked at the hand and the feet and the donkey, but in fact, the soul of the Creator is within him. And now you have to reach to that level of understanding to reach to your own Creator. Then man will never age, man will never die. The fountain of youth, the fountain of life is the knowledge of the Creator, not the water you drink or food which gives you youth. The true knowledge of, the true understanding, the fountain of youth is understanding the knowledge of the Creator, that with it you never die, you're always young, because with that you don't ever lose your strength. That it's you who decides where and how, in which way to manifest. I've done this for thousands of years. I start from child, because how the man was to see, and I die as an old man, and the next time I appear in another village, again as a child. It's a game you play, because it's how you see the beauty and you understand the totality. I manifested in the soul of a child in a basket to understand how man could be, and I appeared as a son and put on the cross in the same way, again and again, starting from the childhood, to see how the man is, and understanding the totality from the king, the son of the king, to the king with the throne on the head. But in fact, the soul was the same. Now this time we teach you that you understand the soul of the man, not the pain of the physicality that the child went through in the basket, but the man who was on the cross in the dimension of physicality. It's man who put himself on the cross of life, and it's man who has chosen the path of physicality. We teach the knowledge of the elevation of the soul of the man, but now we have learned that man likes to play with tools. Man likes to hold, to say, I possess. So I gave you the butterfly, the glass, and the air filter, and the enhancement unit. Let's see how many of you can elevate your souls. But it doesn't come just by putting it on the eye and elevating it. You have to understand how to connect to it, that it brings out elevation. Otherwise, again, it's a blind on the eye of a donkey. It is the process of understanding knowledge, not want to be called of the kingdom is God, is the Creator, is the man who has to decide how he reaches the point of the understanding of the creation. We have given you some of the tools for you to elevate your soul. We have given you some of the understanding to be able to reach the level of the position and position. You have to choose. In a way, you need a magnet to be able to confirm what you possess is magnetic. Otherwise, you're holding nothing. And in that process, we created the soul of Mitra. That the interaction between the soul of the Mitra and the Creator, the same as what we saw, will cover the span of the universe, as the two will share the fields of the universe. In so many ways, if you understood from the beginning, we always said one thing: the soul of the Creator and the soul of the love of the created. And in that process, in the interaction between the two, we have created the universe. In so many ways, everything that exists has to be that love to give and to take. And in so many ways, as I said last week, the apple is the love, is what you give and what is given and what is accepted. Not the apple, but the emotion of the fields of understanding the love, the creation and the creator, and what is between the two. If there was a creator without a lover, how could he show? How could he show and confirm that is radiating his love? In so many ways, mankind moves to a new dimension. Mankind moves in the dimension to decide in a simple way, where do I want my soul to be in respect to the strength of the field of the Creator. The less I possess and the more I give, the closer I become. As the weaker holding on to allows me to trust him to be the holder of my soul. Detachment. In so many ways, mankind has to understand not only the life exists in the dimension of physicality, but exists in the dimension of the fields of the Creator and the created. In so many ways, you become that Mitra. In so many ways, if you expand enough that there is no field to hold on to, but you're just the process of what I call to share, you become the soul of the Creator. One has to understand the strength of and the delicacy of handling the two. And as mankind and the rest of the creation and the creators have been so physical, the Creator created Mitra, which is fields between the two will cover the whole cycle of the creation and the created. In so many ways, the love and the lover and the sharing of the love with the lover. As much as the Creator is in love with Mitra, Mitra is in love with the Creator. Both give unconditionally, but in the process of taking and giving, create the dimension of the creation and the universe we know. And the beauty of it is, what is the measure of totality? Where does the fields of the existence of the Creator come that leads for him to be the Creator? Where are the origins of the creation of what we call the magnetic fields? Where did the first rays come from? And what is the essence of the creation that in the lower field the strings become the chair, the table, the spoon, the food, the water and everything else that man has connected himself to? What happens after the cloth disappears, after the wood of the chair becomes the energy of the universe, and the food you ate becomes another part of the cycle of the creation. Where does it go? And why in certain strengths we see it in the dimension of physicality? The biggest question for man is not the creator. The biggest question for the universal community is to understand what created the creator. You cannot have a chair where the fields of it didn't come from the soul of the creator billions of years in the time of the man in another dominion. But how was the creator created? You cannot have a chair till you bring billions of the cells together. You cannot have the body of the man to have the man if you bring trillions of energy fields in the name of the cell of the heart, the brain, the emotion, and the rest of it. And all came from the energies and the fields and the interaction of them on this planet and this point of universe. But how was the creator created that it became that field? Is the creator a ray of light? Or is the creator a collection of the fields? Maybe you find, if you read a specific passage in book number 2, you have found your creator. The origin of the creation and the creator of the creator. I've hidden it in one sentence in book number 2. When I wrote it, I wondered when man will become wise to understand this word, this sentence. An application and implication of how man will reach to understand the beauty of his creator and how his creator was created. Because he comes from the light. He manifests itself in the dimension of the interaction of itself by itself to become the light. The light of knowledge, the light of what we call understanding of totality. If I open this door, the theologists will kill themselves. And those who have created the false path of beliefs in different names will move forever to move their souls from this planet, as they know how they have abused the man. The understanding of the totality of the knowledge of the creation is not to be able to fly. Is to be able to understand the strength, the knowledge of the fields of the creator. What has led to my creation, where has it come from? That field, that light. And what led to creation of that light? And what was the origin? This is not theology. This is understanding the physical process of the creation, but without imagination. Understanding the science, which means understanding how things interacted that led to, in a way, we call it chemistry. But in a way, we talk about the chemistry of the fields, which led to the creation of the creator. But one point is, where did our field come from that led to the creation of him? That the interaction of the field of him led to the creation of us. Or are we all passengers of the motion of the fields in different strengths and dimensions within the same ray, in the same cylindrical motion? But there is one fact, that where did this ray come from? And where is it going to? That at this moment of time, as it's moving in the span of its own creation of environment, we are passengers of the physicality in one spot of, within that, the structure of the motion from one point to another. In a way, I hit this in the teachings in the books, I say very simply, the scientists of today, they tell us that the universe is expanding. It cannot expand if there was not something for it to expand into, and something to expand into to confirm its own existence. In a way, you cannot blow a balloon if there is no room for it to blow into. You have to create a room that you can blow that air into the balloon, that it confirms existence and its volume. So our universe is the same, but we are travelers of the dimension of the motion of the fields of the universe that came from and is going somewhere, that is interacting with another ray, that the existence of the two creates the light of the creator. That light of creator becomes us to be created of. Mankind has to open its eyes and spend more time in understanding the process of his creation and how he can have everything without destroying, without killing, without, in a way, disintegrating what has been integrated for life to exist. Writing of the promised one. Even a soul has a existence, and it can be in any dominion. You found it in a stone, in the lion, in the physicality of the man, and in existence in all other dominions in the universe. Be it from planet Zeus, planet Mars, from this universe or other universes. A collection of interaction of the fields to confirm their existence, we call it the soul. The creation of the heartbeat confirms the liveness of it, that it exists and is operating to attract. Every heartbeat is an interaction of the gravity and a magnetical field. And when you give it the rhythm, it's a pump which absorbs the field of the universe according to the strength of the soul. Soul of a stone, soul of an atom, the soul of an electron, the soul of the creator, be it the soul of the man. The knowledge of the new space technology is to understand the measure, the strength of the heartbeat, and what is beating, what is created that beat, what is coming in to create that beat, and what is given out to keep that beat at a constant rate to be there. So in the new space technology of the coming up in China, we are not looking to create fuels. We search to understand the heartbeat and what that heartbeat brings and what it gives, that become planet Mars, become the soul of the man, or the physicality of man in the soul of his creation. The knowledge of the universe is very simple. Is man, by not understanding it, has made it so complicated, and then has put value on different measures of the strength, the gold, the love, the food, and most of all, the creator. And how we have become to compartmentalize. This compartment is for this, that compartment is for that, and I want to live within the limitation of which compartment. I made man in the image of myself. In a way, you can appear in any shape or form, but at the end, you are only conditioned to the manifestation of position of the environmental field strength, and nothing else, even the creator himself. As I said once, is the creator and the general in the army of the generals of the creation, and even these and their interaction, does it lead to confirmation of the true essence of Creator? Are we, in totality of all the universes and unicosmos, we see the cell on the skin of the toe of the Creator? Or are we sitting within the center of the soul of the Creator, as I feel the strength and dimension and dominion? As I have hidden so many new technologies in the simple ways that mankind can move into, we'll develop technologies that mankind will gradually, over time, will understand this process. And the same, this process. Ask yourself a very simple question. I put this before to scientists. Doesn't mean that the less surface you have, the less you can radiate to become the giver. And then, if that's true, what is the size of the Creator? If the man sees himself generous and he calls himself philanthropist by giving a few pieces of his plastic paper to someone to have a food, and he thinks he's very generous. Or is the reality in a simple way, the smaller you become, you become so much that you become such a giver. Not to hold on to, but to give out to. That was, or is it, this the knowledge of the creation of the man? Calling the man the Creator, as he said, I made man in the image of myself, even me being the man. Now you know why we are amongst you, to teach you to become part of the understanding of the totality, not to wield the rock of the man and to become the kings and the rules of nothing. My simple life and the way I live is the beauty of the strength of the knowledge I have, that I know how to manifest myself in what dimension, in what presentation, and in presence of whom. And would let the man to make a fool of himself, call themselves a king, a clown, thinking he is the king. In so many ways, the knowledge of the Creator becomes from now on the wisdom of the man, with no position and no possession. The more you know, the more you share, the more humble you become, that you can share that your knowledge, which is the energy of the Creator in its interaction with the soul of another man, becomes the light of another soul, to be elevated, to get closer in that process, to give more from itself without holding on to. In so many ways, mankind needs to understand what kind of man he wants to be. As he said, I made man in the image of myself. What image man wants to have, to be the reflection of the light of the Creator. In so many ways, we learn more, we understand more, we deliver more knowledge according to the understanding of the man. And I hope these teachings brings you to the point to be able to understand the work of your own soul and nothing else. And we have given you the tools, we have given you the structures to do. You played with nano coating, you played with gases, you played with air filters, you played with everything else. But in essence, where does all that come from? And where am I leading you to? To become part of the Creator, or be happy to be a walker in the mountains of the no man land, in the dimension of the land of the universe and universe. One day you'll find your way to the Creator, and one day mankind might become wise to understand this. And the only understanding is be for the man alone and nobody else. Thank you very much. I hope you learn a little bit more about yourself and nothing else. And that's the purpose of these teachings. For you to understand your own, the purpose and the reason for your creation, and why and how, in so many ways, we become the knowledge of the totality. We go through a usual break time. Some of us need to drink to bring some soul of the physicality within us, and some of us will ponder what was just learned and what does it mean to me. After the break, as usual, we come back and we try to answer if you have become mature enough to the knowledge of today. And if not, we still speak about the ganses and nano coating and play child's play. Thank you very much. And if you can go for a break and we come back and we go through the tools of understanding the knowledge of